Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Aura News broadcast for our daily English news edition. I'm Daniel Cook, your host, Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. It has been announced that the Prime Minister Rama will file charges against the Democratic MP Albana Vokshi for slander. The Prime Minister's press office announced today that the basis of the charges will be Vokshi's statements against the health sector. She will be charged with slander for accusing the government of involvement in healthcare scandals and repeated accusations against the Prime Minister. Mr. Rama's press office issued the following statement today. The office of the Prime Minister has every reason, based on evidence and facts, to believe that the MP Vokshi belongs to the category of professional high-level slanderers of the Democratic Party. The Democratic chairman, Luzim Basha, has since reacted to these charges. According to him, this proves that Prime Minister Rama and the Minister of Health, Ilir Becai, are the ones that really stole the money and continue to do so. Basha says that the Prime Minister has the court on his payroll and he is using it as a weapon to threaten the free speech of the opposition. Two days after the parliament rejected the president's decree on the property law, President Nishani has appealed to the Constitutional Court. In his arguments, the president insists that the new property law is contrary to the Constitution. He writes, "The law on properties violates the basic constitutional principles of legal security and equality before the law. It undoes the concept of market economy and contradicts the rulings of the Constitutional Court. It contradicts the standards set by the European Court of Human Rights." The president went on to point out the major impact that the law will have on the citizens. He gives the reminder that the property law is one of the main priorities set by the EU for Albania's integration process. The president is not alone in rejecting the new law. A group of former property owners protested against the law on Thursday when it was being discussed by the parliament. They also gave warning that they would appeal the law to the Constitutional Court. The Tirana prosecution has concluded the investigation of two former directors of the state police who were accused of dereliction of duty in the events of January 21st, 2011. The two former leaders were investigated for disobedience to the order of the Tirana prosecution, which called for the arrest of 6 guards after the event. When the men were being questioned, one of them claimed that the order was never executed because of a mistake in the arrest warrant. After several months of investigation, the prosecution has ruled that there is no criminal element in their actions and that their failure to execute the order does not constitute a crime. The former state police directors were charged by the Interior Minister, Saimir Tahiri. Prime Minister Rama gave a lecture today at the College of Europe in Bruges, speaking on the theme to keep the European dream alive. During his speech, the Prime Minister was skeptical about the way that Europe is dealing with enlargement. Mr. Rama said, "The EU is a transformative power of political, economic, and social life in the countries of our region, even though we are not yet part of the European Union. The EU standards and criteria are the main catalyst of the reforms, which of course are led by our determination to join the European family. The EU today is encountering enlargement fatigue. This fatigue is jeopardizing their transformative power. It leaves room for nationalist politicians and radical Islam in the Western Balkans." Rama also spoke about the fact that Kosovo's people do not yet have the right to move freely between countries. Kosovo's people today cannot move freely, he said. Ironically, they had more freedom of movement when they were a marginalized community in Yugoslavia. They are the only country in Europe that still needs visas, which is a terrible paradox for them. This makes them feel trapped in their own state, and it looks like a betrayal on the part of Europe in the eyes of the common people, said Rama. The Prime Minister was asked a question about whether the Muslim issue in Europe is affecting the integration process. He answered that this idea is fueled by ignorance and that it lacks any real knowledge of religion. A protest was held today against the building of underground parking lots in the Rania Park area. It was led by civil society reps, several Tirana University professors, and a group of environmental activists who said that placing parking lots in this area will occupy the city's green spaces. According to the protesters, the Rania Park project is not the only one that will occupy or destroy the green spaces of Tirana. They say that there are a number of other projects being planned by the city that will add more buildings to the capital instead of more greenery. The civil society made the demand that Mayor Veliaj must listen to their concerns. Otherwise, they will escalate their protests until a popular referendum can be held against the underground parking lots. Ora News has asked the City Hall whether the municipality is committed to restoring Rania Park to its current condition after the construction of the parking lots is complete. Their response was this: the City of Tirana clarifies that we want to add more green areas to the capital, just like the bicycle lanes and the pedestrian areas. The city of Tirana is about to complete its work on rehabilitating the cemeteries and constructing new infrastructure to hold more plots. Mayor Veliaj personally inspected the work today and announced that the expropriations at Tufina cemeteries are progressing. He promised that the restoration of Shara cemeteries will begin soon. Mr. Veliaj made the following statement: "We have created a dignified area at the Tufina cemeteries, so that the people who come and visit their relatives here will find a good resting place and not a mess. There will be some further investment in the cemeteries as well, like the construction of wall cemeteries. It will not be so difficult to find cemetery space in the coming years," he said. "We also plan to restore the Shara cemeteries this year, just like we did with Tufina. We will make sure that our efforts for the dignity of Tirana citizens matches the dignity of the people that lay at rest here," said the mayor. So far, 11,000 square meters of new asphalt have been laid at Tufina cemeteries. The total space the city is working on is measured at 230,000 square meters. The much-debated testing of Albania's teachers took place today, and more than 16,000 teachers took part in the exam. The test is supposed to gauge the professional knowledge and qualifications of the teachers currently working in Albania's schools. The Minister of Education personally observed the process in a school in Durrës. She gave assurance that the test will not lead to dismissals regardless of the results. She said that the test is only meant to serve as a tool for training and qualification. Meanwhile, the Democratic Party has been outspoken against the test, calling it illegal and claiming that it is being done for political purposes. One of the Democratic MPs made the claim today that the test conflicts with the law on education. The Albanian Academy of Science has formally asked the Nobel Committee to give this year's Nobel Prize for Literature to the Albanian writer Ismael Kadhale. A representative of the Academy said today that Kadhale has been among the candidates for many years and that he deserves this international honor. She said, "Without doubt, Ismael Kadhale is one of the greatest contemporary writers alive. His work has been written about by many critics all over the world, and his books have been translated into 45 languages. Beyond a doubt, he has become part of the spiritual world of many nations. Ismael Kadhale will be celebrating his 80th birthday this year, and the Ministry of Culture and the Academy of Science will organize a variety of activities to honor him in April." That's the end of our edition for this evening. Thanks again for watching, and please join us again at 6 p.m. tomorrow for more news in English. 6 p.m. on Monday for more news in English. Thanks, and have a great night.